I'm making this video because of a clip I saw the other day on Instagram of a man shouting at a woman on a train. So that brings me on to, why does Andrew Tate exist? What's going on YouTube, it's Jason, and in this video we're going to be speaking about the death of the traditional man and what I believe paved the way for men like Andrew Tate. Now, before we get into why I'm making this video, it will probably be helpful if I define what a traditional man is. In my view, a traditional man is a man that provides for his household and sees it as his role to provide, a man that protects his household and sees it as his role to protect the household, a man that is hardworking, is brave, is disciplined, and is strong and courageous. These are all the things that traditional men typically exhibited, which genuinely are missing from a lot of today's men. So why am I making this video? I'm making this video because of a clip I saw the other day on Instagram of a man shouting at a woman on a train. He was being pretty aggressive, he was cornering her, and what I saw in the comments led me to make this video. But before I go into that, let's run the clip.
What's your problem? Don't you start on me! Don't you start on me!
Shut up!
Don't you start on me! I am the last person you want to start! Believe me! Off!
So, you get the gist. Not a good look at all. I don't know about you, but whenever I see these videos or posts, the first thing I do is jump straight into the comments. Why? Well, a couple of reasons. Number one, you do get some funny comments, but number two, I believe the comment section of a post on social media tells you where society is at in terms of their real views and their opinions. Let's be real, most people can't share their opinions in everyday life. If you say how you think at work, most people will get cancelled. And so what they do is they jump on social media, and there you find your keyboard warriors who say how they truly feel. Now, when you look through the comment section of this video, you get the typical stuff. This is terrible. What an awful man. Blah, blah, blah. That I get. Then you get the, how could men stand by and watch this? Or where are the men comments? And a lot of those comments were coming from women. And that's what irked me. Why does that irk me? Because the modern woman is not a traditional woman and has spent the last few decades bashing the traditional man. And so what we've seen more and more in today's world is what can only be described as a soft man. A man that is docile, a man that is submissive and spineless, who is happy to admit that his missus wears the trousers or rules the roost, who does as he's told. Think I'm exaggerating. Studies have shown that the grip strength of men has actually gotten weaker since the mid-80s by up to 26 pounds. The modern man is weak. Back to the video. But then you want that on one hand, but then you want the protection that comes with an alpha traditional male. And that's what annoyed me, because you can't have it all. If you want a soft, spineless, docile man, then that's fine. It's up to you.
They should be submissive. They should bow down to me.
Why submissive, darling? Tell me.
Because I should be worshipped.
I'm just curious of why man should bow.
Because I'm hot and sexy.
But you can't have your cake and eat it. So take all that comes with that. It annoyed me, but that's not to say I don't agree with the sentiment. I am an old school traditional man. And if I was on that train, I can tell you now, I would not have stood by and watched a man talk to a woman like that. It's disgusting. That's not how I was raised. I would have gone to confront the man. Now, there was a man on board who was seemingly doing something. He stood in between the aggressive man and the woman to prevent things getting worse. But clearly, the comment section didn't see it that way. And they were asking, where are the men? So, to answer the question, where are the men? To all the modern women in the comments, the men are hiding behind their wives and girlfriends, just as you wanted. Let's be real, if we are saying that we are all equal and the traditional man is toxic, that means that women no longer need to be provided for. Women no longer need to be protected, as traditionally was the case. So, from a modern point of view, we should be asking the question, where are the women? If there are no differences and there are no responsibilities or roles of either gender, then where are the men? Where are the women? There shouldn't be an expectation of men to do anything. Now, as I said, I don't conform to this. I'm a traditional man. I definitely think a man should have at least, at the minimum, have pushed this man off and told him to pipe down and not speak to a woman that way. Now, with feminism, although I think it is a large part of the reason that we are producing more docile, spineless men, I have to acknowledge why feminism exists in the first place. So to answer the question, how did we get here? I believe there are three main reasons. Number one is the past failings of men. We can't get away from it. Men have abused their power, traditional men, they have overstepped the mark, and they've lost the trust of society. Number two, and this is a big one, the lack of accountability amongst men. We haven't had enough men in the past that were willing to stand up and call out instances of abuse where men have thrown their weight around and disrespected women. I genuinely believe if more of that had been happening, there may not even, controversially, have been a need for feminism. And the third reason why we're here and we're seeing these spineless men today, we can't get away from it, is feminism. Now, as I said before, I believe that feminism is the main reason that we're seeing these docile men, but feminism wouldn't be here without the first two things. So that brings me on to, why does Andrew Tate exist? Now, the media have had an absolute field day bashing Andrew Tate for his toxic views. I can safely say that Andrew Tate, at least the persona he puts online, is definitely toxic and harmful to men. Why has he been given a platform? Because of what I spoke about, the bashing of the traditional man. When you speak to guys nowadays, particularly the younger ones, what you see is a clear identity crisis in them, where they grew up with dads that were strong and traditional, and initially they were their role models. They then grow up and they start dating, and the women that they're dating are calling that kind of man toxic. And so the guys are stuck between, I thought this was a good thing and this is now a bad thing because I want to settle down with this woman who doesn't want that kind of man, and they're stuck in this place of limbo. And then step up Andrew Tate, who is saying that being a traditional man is not a bad thing. We need more strong men to protect our society and advance society. And it's like those guys are looking up to Andrew Tate as some sort of father figure. Now, as I said before, I think that's a very dangerous thing based on the stuff that Andrew Tate is spouting online, but we have created that problem. We have set the platform for these hyper alpha males that don't respect women to rise up and begin to instill this kind of toxic masculinity in young men. So we've now discussed the beta male, feminism, and why people like Andrew Tate exist. How do we get out of this mess and where do we go from here? Well, I believe two things really need to happen. As I said before, male accountability is a big thing and something I'm very passionate about. We need more men to call out genuine cases of misogyny, genuine cases of abuse, and genuine cases of a lack of respect for women. We need to do that amongst blokes and stamp out the problem wherever we see it. We also need feminism to begin to recognize the difference between a traditional man and an abusive man. It seems like feminism and society at large has clumped these things together, as though when you get a strong traditional man, abuse is round the corner. So we need to stop that strong traditional man from existing. I couldn't disagree more with this viewpoint, and that's simply because I grew up with alpha, traditional, strong men that didn't abuse women. They used their strength to help, protect, and advance women. And I've always seen it, therefore, as a separate thing. Traditional men, as I always say, were the men that went to war and fought Hitler and fought for our freedom. So if we just destroy all traditional men, I'm sorry, we are in real trouble. Because I'll tell you now, if Putin ends up going nuts and there is a World War III, the average man is going to be hiding indoors, sitting on TikTok. Please do not expect that man to go out and fight for you. So yeah, that's my raw, honest opinion on that whole train incident and the wider issue of the death of traditional men. By the way, I don't think that video on the tube was a new video. I think it happened a few years ago, I believe, but it resurfaced and went viral. But yeah, that's everything. Hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like it if you did. Leave a comment below. Let me know whether you agree or disagree with me. I'm always open to alternative opinions. I'm not one of these people that think that everything I say goes. I always love a discussion in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel to follow me on this journey, and I'll see you again soon.